The New York Knicks take Game 1 of the Eastern Conference first round series against Cleveland. Let's talk about this crazy game. Well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watu-K99. Thank you as always for taking the time to watch these videos. If you're brand new, welcome aboard. Please like and subscribe. If you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate you tuning in. Let's talk about this game. The Knicks emerged victorious 101-97 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. What a game this was. Super close for most of the way. Knicks leading most of the way. But you know what? Cleveland showed that as good as they can be on defense, they are a capable offensive team. But what they did not show you is that they are deep. The Knicks, on the other hand, proved they have the superior depth. And that is, if there was one reason I felt the Knicks could win this series, I felt the Knicks could go 8 deep, 9 deep if they needed to. Whereas you get past the Cavs' top 4 players, it's very, very shaky. And that is exactly what we saw tonight in this game. As a matter of fact, the Knicks bench outscored the Cavaliers bench by a combined total of 37-14. 37-14. That's like a Jets loss under the Adam Gase era. My goodness. Obi Toppin, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Josh Hart in particular. Emmanuel Quigley did have 3 points, but he did not make a field goal. He did not have his best night by any stretch. But these other 3 guys, I'm going to give them love first. Obi Toppin, 9 points in 14 minutes, a plus 12 net rating. Isaiah Hartenstein, wow. You know what? His numbers aren't going to jump out at you. 8 points, 5 rebounds, not too bad. But he was a plus 19. The Knicks' best plus minus, the best net rating was Isaiah Hartenstein of all people. And hey, how about at the very end of the game when Hartenstein tips that ball after the Josh Hart jump shot miss in the final minute of the game? Hartenstein has the awareness and then the ability to get over to tip the ball when Cleveland would have had that rebound. He tips the ball back to quentingrimes. This is when the Knicks were up 97-95. And he tips the ball over to Jalen, who drives in for the layup that essentially really did clinch the game. Great job by Hartenstein. And Josh Hart deserves a contract extension tonight. So, Leon Rose, don't let him out of the building. Get him into a room and give him a contract extension. He deserves it. He is the X factor. He is the spark plug. Josh Hart is amazing. 17 points on 8 for 11 shooting, 10 rebounds, and hustle plays like it reminded me of the 90s Knicks. I mean, I felt I was watching Anthony Mason out there. I was watching Xavier McDaniel out there. Josh Hart does that for the Knicks. And I'll tell you what, the way he played, if you're Coach Tom Thibodeau, you've got to think long and hard about using Hart, maybe even in the starting lineup, ahead of RjBarrett. Barrett is far and away, in my mind, the biggest negative of this game. 2 for 12 from the field, a minus 13 net rating. Not good enough. Even though he is young, he's 22 years old. He's been in the league long enough now where if you don't start showing it by now, it's not very likely in like year 4 or year 5 you're suddenly just going to get it and emerge as a legitimate piece. It just doesn't seem like it's going to work out for Barrett as a big-time player. A role player, maybe at the most, but I just didn't like what I saw in his approach tonight. He couldn't make his shots. I mean, he finished, 1 for 5 from three-point range? Yeah, 1 for 5 from 3 in 31 minutes. And just when he would go up to play, when he was playing defense, he just looked hesitant. He didn't look confident. He looked like he was overthinking things to me. So I'm not going to call Barrett like a bust or anything like that. He is an absolute disappointment. He can play in this league, but I cannot justify him being in the starting lineup at this point. But Jalen Brunson, the man is a stone cold assassin. The shooting 11 for 24 with 27 points, that doesn't even do it the justice. I mean, he only had 2 assists, but who cares? When he has to make a bucket, he makes them. The way that he can maneuver himself, the way he can generate a shot, shoot outside, shoot the mid-ranger, shoot the floaters, drive to the basket. I mean, he is just a weapon at guard. He has so many different ways to score. It is just absolutely remarkable. I have not seen the Knicks have a player quite like this, and I don't know how long. I love Carmelo Anthony, but when you talk about the ball handling skills as well, and the ability to shoot outside mid range and drive to the hoop with that quickness, also, I mean, to get that from a point guard is just really special in a league that is, let's face it, driven by point guards. But looking at the last sequence here, I got to tell you, I was feeling pretty good about most of the game. Donovan Mitchell will give you his runs. You have to respect him. He is an absolutely fantastic player. He shot 14 for 30, 38 points. But outside of that, I really felt somebody else had to step up along with either Brunson or with Mitchell to really make the difference in this series. I didn't think anybody stepped up for Cleveland tonight. I mean, dariusgarland, he scored 17 points, but did he do anything of note in the second half? I think he made one. From what I remember, I think he made 1 basket in the second half, 2 at the absolute most. But he just became sort of an afterthought in this offense. Jarrett Allen, he had 14 rebounds, but he didn't make any kind of an offensive impact. And Mobley, oh my gosh, Evan Mobley, defensive player of the year possibly, but at 11 rebounds, but he only shot 4 for 13. And it really felt like Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein were able to get the rebounds when they needed to. Josh Hart also, especially Josh Hart. He was actually he tied for the team league in rebounds with 10, along with Julius Randle. So I think for me, when I knew the Cavs would have one big run in there, I felt the Knicks were turning it over by the middle of the fourth quarter. They're up 92-84 with 4:30, but you just knew the Cavs had one push left in them. And sure enough, the Cavs go on a 9-0 run. They take the lead, which was just unbelievable. It was the first time that the Cavs had led, I think, since the first 3 to 4 minutes of the game. So the Knicks call timeout with 2:15 to go. They're down 1. And I said to myself as they're coming out of commercial, this team needs a basket right now. I don't care who makes it. I don't care how they get it. I don't care if it's a 2, if it's a 3, if it's 2 free throws. They have to score on this possession. And Josh Hart drills a 3, and at that point you started to think that it was going to be okay. And that was after he came back, after hurting his ankle on the previous possession. He was kind of limping around a little bit. Coach left him in the game. Also, he put in Hartenstein and Grimes. He took out Randle and Barrett, and it turned out to work incredibly well. And also, gotta say, Barrett did make a good jumper to make it 97-93 at one point. Mitchell makes the 2 free throws to make it 97-95. And then comes the play I talked about, where Hart misses the 2 with less than a minute to go. But Hartenstein tips the ball, dives for the ball, tips it back to quentingrimes, gives it over to Brunson, drives for the layup, 99-95. And at that point, I was pretty confident the Knicks were going to close this game out. So it's a great way. It's the first time I think the Knicks have won a game 1 on the road. I think they said since 1998. I think since they were playing Miami. It's been a long. They lost 6 game 1s on the road in a row until this game. Now, by no means is this series over. Absolutely not. Mitchell is going to win at least 1 game, maybe 2 games by himself. But you know what? You knew you had to come here into Ohio and take at least one of the 2 games. The Knicks did that, and now I believe it's 2 days of rest before Game 2, so I think that's going to be Tuesday night, I believe. So let's see what happens. I'll be interested to see if Coach Thibodeau changes anything with the lineup or how quick of a hook he has for certain players, but particularly RJbarrett. I will give Julius Randle some credit. He did make some big shots. He did grab some big rebounds. Oh, especially, let me not forget, when Brunson missed that one shot towards the end, it was Julius Randle who grabbed the offensive rebound, flew in to grab that rebound. Evan Mobley was there flat-footed. Randle grabs the offensive rebound. hands it off to Quentingrimes with 4 seconds left. He makes the 2 free throws, which would be the final score, 101-97. I want to make sure Julius Randle gets credit for that offensive rebound. His 10th rebound of the game, his last rebound of the game, and maybe the most important rebound of the entire game. But let's see what happens with Barrett. I mean, in this game, he wound up playing 31 minutes. Josh Hart played 33. It's a little bit difficult because if there's one position where the Knicks aren't that great, it's probably shooting guard. I think they would have put Quigley in had he had more of an impact in this game. But the Knicks just didn't get really anything from that guard spot in this game. So let's see what happens. Well, thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where, the Wicker Chair.